We have watched 2 and 3 episodes of the new TV shows from Amazon and
HBO.
HBO. Yeah, the Ring of Power and House of the Dragon. And we decided let's discuss it today. We've got some points which you have to bring across. So, starting off, Ina, what do you think about the shows?
That's a loaded
Okay,
question.
start with House of Dragon. Yeah,
House of Dragon. House of the Dragon.
the House.
It's kind of slow, but that's Game of Thrones fashion. It might get
Yes.
lit as we go, but I don't have issues with it. I like the character development overall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what I like. What I don't like is just how it's a little bit too slow, and but what I really don't like are I think for a budget that large, the visual effects should be better.
Oh, okay. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, the what's a Damon's dragon? That's my main issue. It's I went and got like a Chinese style dragon,
You
which is
mean the
like a snake.
serpent? But isn't he
Yeah,
called a
like a
serpent?
serpent.
Doesn't that make sense? He's like a serpent.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But I mean, you can't change the name unless there are different types of dragons, which I need to
I think they
research
are.
about. Okay, so
I
like
think they
different
are.
types of dog.
Yeah.
So his is like a sausage dog.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, then
I get it now.
the Rings of
Right.
Power. I get why the reviewers kept harping on that one thing. The show is gorgeous. Like, no two ways about
Yeah.
it. I know you have some YouTubers saying the House of the Dragon looks better, but nah, those guys are dreaming, man. The Rings of Power looks amazing. We've spoken about how like almost every frame looks like a painting. So it looks good.
Yes.
Story wise, I don't know just yet. It's not boring. It might get interesting. I do have my issues, but we will discuss my issues.
Okay.
But yeah,
Cool, cool. I have similar thoughts on the 2 TV shows. I've enjoyed both of them immensely, and it's amazing that we're actually getting something like this now. That's forget about the quality. If you have issues, story affects the fact that we can have this now, and it's all because of the streaming wars. I'm loving it, and the Rings of Power. Visually, it's amazing. We already said that, and my only gripe with it is the story. I'll go a bit into more detail about that, but the storyline is I already told, we were discussing it with Ina, and my biggest issue is that the storyline, they have not managed the splitting of the episodes properly for television. If you look at the way the House of the Dragon is actually done, it ends on a peak, and it makes you want to watch the next episode, and you kind of have where you are expecting something to happen in the next episode.
each
Like
episode
in
is
the last
standalone.
episode.
It has its
Exactly.
it has
Yeah.
its beginning, middle, end.
Story arc.
Beginning, middle, end. Story arc. Yes.
Yes, exactly. However, with the Rings of Power, you clearly saw that they were struggling with that, and that's why they had to give you 2 episodes off the bat.
I hear you.
Because if you had to wait a week for the second episode, you'd have just been like, okay, what's going on? So I feel like they're struggling with that, and I don't know, it has already been done, but I'm hoping as the story goes on and as we get more invested, that feeling of incompleteness and absolute mystery goes away. That we actually get into a show where we don't feel up to today. Up to now, I feel lost. Concerning the guy who fell from the air, I'm still lost about not lost, but I feel like there hasn't been enough progress done
Yeah.
in the last 2
Yeah.
episodes to build his character.
Feels like they've been dragging
So we
it
have
out.
all these. Exactly. Yeah. And but what House of Dragon does very well is it gives you a very well versed education about each character. And you get engrossed in their story, and you
You're
get to kind of
invested.
know them. And exactly, yeah. So those are that's my gripe about the Rings of Power. But otherwise, visually appealing.
Yes, man, it looks good.
Yeah. Yes, but obviously we do have some issues. The main the main one being
Elephant in the room, or what?
Elephant in the room. Yes, the black characters in both shows. Funny enough, people have a problem with the Rings of Power, but I don't mind so much the Rings of Power. I hate the way the House of the Dragon is doing it.
You mean the Valerian house?
Yes.
Okay.
Suddenly.
Okay. Funny enough, we were just discussing it in the office right now. I'll give you my take. House.
Yes.
Obviously, we've spoken about it. It really feels like there's a whole political agenda, or inclusivity and stuff. And I'm all for it.
Well and good. Please
say again.
Yeah. It's all well and good.
Yeah, it's all well and good, but like, you have to be clever how you do it. Somebody commented saying people love Top Gun Maverick because it doesn't have any identity politics or whatever, but it actually does. There's like almost every race, but it's so well done you don't notice it. Like, there's women empowerment also, but like, it's not, you're not being hit over the head with it. The problem with House of the Dragon is that like, it needs to be a little bit logical. Here is a black race or a black house that has existed in Westeros for generations. And when you see, you have to be smart. When you see these kind of blacks, there's like, they're very black. So they don't look like they've been mixing. So how do you explain that? Okay, and secondly is, we do understand race and like, I don't know what you call it, how different races are sort of like built to their locale, to like where they're from. Like how the Sand people, their build is designed for like the nomadic type of life, and like surviving on very little. They're not huge. Like, their body doesn't demand a lot, so they survive. They're like the best survivors in the world. And it makes sense. Now you have Westeros, and which is like, you get the idea, it's this kind of like Caucasian type of civilization or whatever. And now they inserted this black house in there. You start asking like, wait, where did these people come from?
Like, from out of nowhere. Yes.
Yeah, so it's all these questions. Same thing with the Rings of Power. It's like, okay, cool, you can have inclusion, but we're not saying don't put black people, just it has to make sense. Your audience is smart. They're gonna ask questions like, okay, there was this one shot in the Rings of Power, I think it was episode 2, where 2 or 3, I don't know, 2, yeah, where the camera is moving through like the village of the humans or something, and then you see this lady that looks like she came straight from the village. Like, that's like as black as you can get. That's like that's my grandmother, like from the village, and she's in this.
And she's coming from a place like the UK.
Like, she's like in the UK. So it makes no sense. I know we're supposed to suspend disbelief when watching fantasy, but the world is supposed to absorb you. It's supposed to suck you in. But once you see stuff like that, you're taken aback, because you're like, wait, that looks like my grandmother. But like, you know why my grandmother looks like that. She's out in the sun all day toiling, and like there's a way she looks like she fits her environment. And she fits where she's from. But you look at where they've put them here, and it's just like, sometimes it feels like people are being pandered to, and I don't know. I don't appreciate that. That's me.
Yeah, but I guess that's the environment we're in right now. The pandering is not implicit. It's because I think the fear they have is that if it's not done explicitly, that it's in your face, you will not notice. So to mark off all the markers that, okay, you need to have, and I've seen Black people have had that complaint that no, we do not want inclusion for characters who are just side characters who get killed, and I get it. I understand what we are seeking. However, the Valerian family, the Black Valerian family, you're telling me throughout its generation, it has only gotten married to four fellow Valerian Black people. And the way the way Game of Thrones is set out is that the families actually get married for power.
Yes.
And the main character, I can't remember his name, he actually went and got married to a white woman for power.
So they should have been mixing.
The way they should have been mixed. They're already showing that these people get mixed so that they can have power. But we are only seeing it in that one episode. It does not make any logical sense. So yeah, have inclusion, but be smart about it. Is it plausible? That's my biggest gripe.
We're actually saying here, like, if it was legit, like the way they set it up, where these people, there is no, I don't want to use the word because apparently you're not allowed to use that on YouTube. The word that word, something ist. That word, you're not allowed to use it. But yeah, if you have like a society or a civilization that doesn't have any of that, and you had like Black and white, I saw an Asian person, like Asian looking person in the show, and I was like also like taken aback, like he was one of the houses. Anyway, if you have that, let's be logical. Over generations, there would be no white people, there would be no Black people. You would have like a race of like super mixed, like everything is just mixed. Like if you take like Black people, like I give this example, take Black people from America and Black people. This is a thing a lot of people don't notice, but like especially Hollywood, Black people from America look very different from Black people from like Africa, where
and not just skin tone.
Yeah, not just skin tone, features, like the way they've been mixing. Yes. Even Africa has like all sorts of Black people. Like Ethiopians look different from here, from Nigerians, from like, Southerners. So if that truly existed in Westeros, you would have a race of like these extremely mixed people. You wouldn't have like people who looked Black still and people who looked white still. So this pandering has zero logic in it, to me.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the hair is dreads.
Oh,
just like look, blonde hair is blonde hair. Yeah. Blonde hair doesn't suddenly become black hair. Like that's where even the evidence of Black people who have blonde hair, their hair is blonde.
Yes.
It's not this. Yes. Yeah. So to clarify again, we're not saying that it should not happen. It should just happen in a smart and so should happen in a smart way. If the whole plan was kind of mixed and they were diverse this is the one thing I wanted to say. Game of Thrones has not mentioned anything about race or racial separation. The Valerians do not separate themselves from the Targaryen. Like they all see each other as a family that needs to be in power together. They're the people. They were the strongest groups of people in that time. It's only that the Valerians didn't have dragons. If that's the case, then you cannot present a non-plausible result of having a black person who's never been mixed with anybody as one of the heads of the family of the Valerians. Doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's our issue. Right now, with the Rings of Power, I haven't seen anything yet. I will see. I don't want to get into it. I think this has already been way too long. But yeah, please comment and tell us what you think. Please do not write one sentence comments. Just please explain your point so that we can get it. Really want to hear from you. And yeah, you have anything?
Nothing else. I'm looking forward to it, to the remainder of the show. But that was my gripe.
Yes.
I just hope there isn't too much more of that, because it really pulls you out of the show. But I would like to see if we reach a point while watching. It's a nice experiment to see whether we just accept it, like somehow just accept it as truth.
Oh yeah.
I'd like to see if that happens. If that happens, then these guys are on the right path. They know what they're doing. Like, just force this stuff down our throats, and eventually we'll accept it. But if we still feel like, wait, this doesn't make sense, then they screwed up.
Well, with Game of Thrones, we have to see what they do with the male characters. We won't get into that, but yeah, we have.
I hear you.
We have to see what they do with the male characters.
You mean how they make
so far?
How they make men
look
like cowards?
Which is like, men don't mind being led by a woman, but don't make it out to look like.
Don't pander.
Like, oh my word, Galadriel, please come save us. Yeah. So this has been our most controversial one. Please like, subscribe,
turn on the bell notification.
Comment. Yes. This has been the Movie Gods podcast. Later.
Peace out.